anyone who likes
Literally,
this heat.
I was like, if you like this heat, we are not friends, truly. 5:41 is the time. I want to take you back over to the North County. Chris Grow was on scene of a crash reportedly involving a DUI. Right now, we have minimal details, but if you're just tuning in and you live in the North County near Carlsbad, south of the 78, you may want to pay attention. Crews have issued a SIG alert, currently blocking the intersection on Carlsbad Village Drive eastbound in Tamarack Avenue. What you could do to get around this, and again, on the maps, I'm not showing any major slowing, but again, it's still really early, dark and early. I mean, we're still in the 5 o'clock hour. You could opt for the El Camino Real to get around that closure or the 78. I do want to take you out to the freeways because we're tracking a couple other incidents. We have a crash blocking the right shoulder in Miramar, and this one on the 15 North right at Miramar, Pomerado Road. And then we have another crash, this one reported in the Lemon Grove area on the 94 eastbound right at Massachusetts. Right now, it looks like the speeds have yet to populate, but right now I'm not seeing any slowing for both of those incidents, even the one on that surface street in Carlsbad. All right, here's a live look outside. This is a glimpse as you make your way in and out of the Chula Vista area from Bonita Road. So far, so good out of the South Bay at last check. And happy Wednesday to you. We're tracking a few crashes across our major freeways, and then we have a SIG alert in Carlsbad, and I'll get to that one in a moment. I do want to start off on our major freeways. We're crashing at Trotto Road. Meanwhile, we have another one, this one closer to the La Mesa area or Lemon Grove on the 94, and this is on the 94 East right at Massachusetts Avenue. And then finally, we have one that just popped up in the South Bay, and this is on the 805. It's in the southbound direction, but it could cause some slowing as you make your way northbound. This is right before you hit Telegraph Canyon Road on L Street, also known as L Street, as you make your way out of Chula Vista headed towards National City. All right, as I mentioned, we have a SIG alert that we've been tracking for the past half hour or so in the Carlsbad neighborhood. So if you live in Carlsbad, you may want to pay attention. This is bound. Hop onto El Camino Real that runs pretty parallel to that direction, or you could opt for the 5. Again, to get around that slowing. But I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Chris Grow, who look outside. This is as you travel in from the Lake Murray area, coming in from La Mesa and College Grove, headed westbound. This is going to be a slow drive as we progress through the morning, but right now it's fairly quiet. So if you want to avoid traffic, maybe head out the door right now. Same deal coming in from the South Bay. Here's that travel on the 805 in both directions as you pass Plaza Bonita Mall. Right side is that southbound drive as you make your way 15 in both directions. The drive coming in from Valley Parkway as you make your way southbound towards Rancho Penasquitos and Rancho Bernardo. All right, we have a few crashes. It is still dark and early, and we're already tracking some incidents. We have one blocking the right shoulder in Miramar. This is on the 15 North right at Miramar Road. So as you make your way past the 163 on the 15, that could set you back a little bit. We're also tracking a crash in the Lemon Grove area. Maybe going to slow things down for you if you're headed towards downtown San Diego and you use the 94 West. And then we have this one, which is actually, looks like we got some purple on the maps here, and that actually indicates a full closure. So I'm going to have to look at the update on the CAD. But we have a crash blocking the 2 right lanes in Chula Vista on the 805. This is northbound right before you hit Telegraph Canyon Road at L Street. Most of the slowing is southbound, however, so I'm going to have to make sure that is correct here because it looks like the northbound drive is in pretty good shape, and of course that's where most folks are traveling this morning, but it looks like southbound they may have all the lanes shut down as you make your way past the 54. All right, let's go ahead and pull up those wait times. It is 6:10 on your Wednesday, halfway through the week. Again, we have some activity going on, some blockage out of San Ysidro's port of entry, so you may want to opt for Otay Mesa this morning. We're tracking about an hour and a half to get you across from Otay Mesa at last check. Back to you guys. In the South Bay, we are getting reports of a semi-fuel tank crash involving another vehicle. It looks like the fuel tank was reportedly punctured and there is now diesel spilled all across the lanes. This is on the 805 South right at Telegraph Canyon Road. I'm trying to keep my eye on any slowing that we're seeing. This is actually just south of the 54. That's the East Street Bonita Road exit that you see on the right side of your screen there. Let's go ahead and take you to the maps and showcase exactly where you approach Telegraph Canyon, headed towards H Street and Main Street and Orange Avenue. You could opt for the 54 west and the 5 south to get around that slowing. And as of right now, it wasn't impacting the northbound drive too much. But again, it's still really early. The more we get into the 6 o'clock hour, the likelihood of the 805 northbound drive slowing down due to that incident will likely be greater. All right, we are tracking a couple of other crashes as well across our major freeways. We have this one in the Lemon Grove area on the 94 East. This is right at Massachusetts. And then we have another one on the 15. This is northbound right at Miramar Road, also known as Pomerado Road in the Miramar-Mira Mesa area. So a lot of things going on this morning. Make sure that you're leaving time for travel if you have to get somewhere on time. We're still in the green, steady speeds out of the North County. Let's go ahead and pull up the travel times in from the East County, about 3 to 7 minutes on the 94 as well as the 8. We're starting to slow down out of Santee on the 52 west. And if you're traveling in from the South Bay headed northbound, 10 to 17 minutes, steady speeds on the 5 and the 805. And we're looking at a little bit of slowing coming across to Coronado in from downtown and Barrio Logan, about 7 minutes, average speeds about 20 miles per hour. All right, well, coming up, why some ride the rapid bus line, but riders say it's anything but. In this morning's On the Move report, I'm explaining why transit advocates say the city hasn't delivered on promised upgrades. San Diego Ride SD and San Diego 350 say their campaign is aimed at making the 215 a truly rapid bus line by adding dedicated bus lanes and other transit improvements. Now, to learn more about their efforts, you can visit cbs8.com and click on this online version of the state. Is overhead of a semi-fuel for the 54 west to the 5 south to get around that. But hopefully they get that situation cleared up soon. I'm going to take you over to Miramar. We have a crash involving minor injuries, walking the right shoulder. And this is on the 15 North, right at Miramar Road, Pomerado, near the Mira Mesa, Miramar neighborhoods. Let's go ahead and take a look at those travel times. We're still at steady speeds coming in from the North County, slowing now, trickling in from the 125 towards the 15. Netta, back to you. In Miramar, and this is on the 15 North, right at Miramar, Pomerado Road, involving some minor injuries. All right, we're at steady speeds coming in from the North County. Not really the case, though, if you're coming in from the East County headed west. We're now tracking about a 10-minute drive in from Santee towards Tierra Santa, about 3 to 8 minutes on the 94, as well as the 8 from the College area. And then here's what we're looking at coming in from Chula Vista National City. 25 minutes on the 805 North in from San Ysidro up to the 94. Again, it's likely going to be bottlenecked near 8th Street due to that crash on the 805 South. And then on the 54, as you make your way up to the 8, about 15 minutes on the 5 North. Full span of the Coronado Bridge, not too bad. We're at 38 mile per hour speeds, and it'll take you a total of 5 minutes or so to get you across to Coronado if you're coming in from Barrio Logan. All right, well, here at CBS 8, we are always working for our community, and right now we are trying to help clear overrun animal shelters across the entire county. This week we are featuring Tipperary, also known as Tippy. She's actually a 5-year-old shepherd mix. Look at that tongue. The San Diego Humane Society says Tippy can be shy, but she's very smart and playful, as most shepherd breeds are. You can meet her over at the San Diego campus. Look at that. Aw. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful color, too.
Yeah.
Tipperary.
So cute. Tipperary. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Trying to figure out the meaning behind that. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But Tippy for sure. Go adopt her, guys. Go adopt her and foster her.
Cute face.
Yeah.
Adorable.
I think a lot of dogs have had that tongue hanging out with the heat
Oh yeah,
we've been
especially
having
with
right
the heat.
All right.
Such a cute brindle.
Yeah.
Certainly looks like a mixed dog. It's a brindle color. Again, looks like a little Yorkie type of mix. All right, let's see, 6:49 is the time. We'll go ahead and start things with a live look outside. This is the 15 in both directions as you make your way out of the Escondido area, headed southbound this morning. Let's go ahead and switch gears. We are at a crawl. This is nothing new coming in from Chula Vista on the 5 freeway as you make your way towards the mile of cars. And then this is the drive coming at your screen on the 805. Passing Home Avenue as you make your way towards the 15 connector. All right, look out for a crash blocking the left lane in National City. This is on the 5 South as you approach the 15 on-ramp. And then this crash just popped in on the CAD involving 5 cars on the 8 West right at Greenfield. Fast lane blocked as a result, and as you're making your way towards Granite Hills, coming inbound, let's say, I don't know, from Alpine, that's likely going to cause some slowing for you. It's bottlenecked through that pocket. And then this one is continuing to also pop up on the CAD. This is a crash that we're still tracking in Miramar on the 15 right at Miramar Road. Steady speeds still out of the North County headed south. We're now seeing a little bit of slowing near Villa Rancho on the 78 from the 15 to the 5. And as we pull up travel from the East County headed west, 10 minutes for you folks out of Lemon Grove headed towards downtown via the 94, and about a 10-minute ride coming in from Santee towards the 15. And here's what it looks like. I mean, we're still on the yellow, meaning it's not too bad coming in from the South Bay on the 5 and the 805. Average speed is about 39 miles per hour. Eric?
What's going on this morning?
Yeah, there is. And this is a big issue because there is diesel fuel just spilled across some of the lanes. And so they have to get crews out there to clean up that spillage. And right now it looks like they still have the far right lanes, also known as the number 4 and 5 lanes, blocked to traffic on the 805 South. And you'll see it if you're coming in from Chula Vista headed northbound. You'll likely see the activity on the southbound end, and it may slow things down for you as you get your morning commute going. All right, so here's what it looks like on the maps. Again, the 2 right lanes, as I mentioned, are blocked in Chula Vista on the 805 before Greenfield Drive, and it's causing stop and go traffic all the way to Los Coches Road. So this may slow things down for you as you make your way through Granite Hills and El Cajon. All right, let's go ahead and pull up travel times. We are averaging about 15 minutes, steady speeds coming in from the North County for headed westbound in from the East Counties. A little bit of slowing out of Lemon Grove and Santee. And here's what it looks like coming in from the South Bay. We're now tracking a pretty slow drive on the 5 north in from the 54 up to the 8. Will take you about 20 minutes total. Back to you guys. Screen is the southbound drive as you exit the Escondido neighborhood, passing Felicita, Citricato, making your way towards Rancho Bernardo and Rancho Penasquitos on the 15. This is what it looks like. Really pretty view of the skyline, but unfortunately we are tracking a lot of slowing near the surface. So we're going to crawl on the 5 north as you make your way in from Chula Vista headed towards National City. And this is what it looks like coming in from the South Bay. Look out for a crash blocking the left lane in El Cajon on the 8 west before you hit Greenfield, causing stop and go traffic all the way to Los Coches. And then we're also tracking another crash, this one continuing to block 2 right lanes in Chula Vista on the 805 southbound right at 8th Street due to a semi crash involving a fuel spillage. Back to you guys. Left side of your screen is that drive headed northbound. All right, we are tracking a crash involving multiple cars. This is in the El Cajon Granite Hills area on the 8 west, right at Greenfield Drive. It's backing things up all the way to Los Coches Road, so that may slow things down. Let's say if you're headed inbound from Alpine. And then we still have this mentioned at the top of the hour, semi-fuel crash in the South Bay on the 805 South right at Telegraph Canyon Road. We'll be back after this. Just a couple of them. So right now it looks like traffic just flowing through in about 2 to 3 lanes or so. The far right lanes, also known as the slow lanes, are currently blocked. This was a crash that reportedly involved a semi-fuel tank, and another car was involved. They punctured reportedly the trailer for this time of day. We're also tracking another pretty big crash, anywhere between 3 to 5 cars reportedly involved. The left lane blocked as a result, and this is in the El Cajon area on the 8 west before you hit Greenfield Drive, causing stop and go traffic all the way to Los Coches Road. Here's a live look outside. Meanwhile, this is in the North County. Pretty good shape there. And of course, we're at a crawl coming in from Chula Vista headed towards National City. Back to you guys. Right at Telegraph Canyon Road, near 8th Street, we had a semi crash and involved with another car, but the semi was actually a semi fuel tank. And it got punctured, and there was just diesel fuel that spilled across some of the lanes there. So you can expect slowing on the 805 South right before you hit Telegraph Canyon Road, right near 8th Street. It's causing stop and go traffic all the way to about Bonita Road, even near the 54. It's not really doing much for the northbound drivers, so that is good news as you kind of get out the door this morning. We have another crash involving several cars, this one blocking the left lane at El Cajon on the 8 westbound right at Greenfield Drive, causing stop and go traffic all the way to Los Coches. All right, let's go ahead and show you the crawl that we're seeing across the region. This is the 15 southbound right as you exit Escondido headed towards Rancho Bernardo and Rancho Penasquitos, and this is what it looks like for that drive as you make your way out of Chula Vista headed towards National City on the 5. You can see the trolley passing by there. Let's go ahead and switch gears. 805 in both directions. Coming at your screen is the northbound drive. Right side is a southbound drive. And we're pretty slow and go as you approach Home Avenue headed towards the 15 connector. Meanwhile, here are some of the travel times coming in from the North County south. Eric. 36 on your Wednesday. Well, it's called the rapid bus line, but riders say it's anything but that. In this morning's On the Move report, I'm explaining why transit advocates say the city hasn't delivered on promised upgrades. Bike San Diego, Ride SD, and San Diego 350 say their campaign is aimed at making the 215 a truly rapid bus line by adding dedicated bus lanes and other transit improvements. To learn more about their efforts, you can go ahead and visit cbsa.com and click on this online version of the story. You're about to say that? I was like, what? We're going to be in the 70s? Yeah, not a chance. Close to 8 a.m. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Halfway through the week. Let's go ahead and start off. Where are we starting off? On the 15, right at the 163. That's where a crash just popped up on the CAD. We have another one, this one on the 805 northbound, right before you get to the 54, slowing things down to about East Street. And then remember, 805 south, we also still have that semi-crash involving a fuel spill, and crews are still cleaning that up. All right, we'll be back after this. Work week, and we have, after another record-breaking day when it came to that extreme heat, we are looking at that heat to continue all the way through the end of the week. Here's a quick look at what you can expect for highs tomorrow where you live. You can expect daytime highs to soar once again. It's still going to be warm there, but still cooler than the inland valley floors. We're forecasting a mid to low 80s from Oceanside all the way down to Del Mar. Our urban heat island will be touching into the mid 80s. So yeah, any ways that you found to beat the heat over the past few days, you're certainly going to need to use those methods on repeat all the way through the end of the week. These hot temperatures have triggered a slew of heat advisories, extreme heat warnings across Southern California. We still have that heat advisory in place for these coral colored areas all the way through Friday night, and that extreme heat warning for Borrego Springs, Ocotillo Wells, as well as most of Imperial Valley all the way through Saturday night. So here's what the next 7 days look like. We do feel some relief Saturday and Sunday for both the coast and inland valleys, but don't let your guard down, because even as we look ahead to Saturday, we're still going to be hitting highs in the 90s for the inland valleys. We really don't feel relief, noticeable relief, until the time we get to Sunday. Same goes for the mountains and desert areas. We'll be in the low 90s up until Friday, and then we'll see those daytime highs slowly start to crawl down to the 80s by the time we get to the weekend. For the desert areas, we'll have a little bit of a prolonged heat wave all the way through the weekend, but notice how even though we see those numbers drop, we're still going to be soaring in the low hundreds, at least until the middle of next week.